welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. Today I want to tell you why it is important to fail and how failing is the key to success. How failing is the first step to success. And how failing plays a role in mental health and why you shouldn't give up. So, it's a lot to talk about. Let's jump straight into it. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications of when I upload, and let's get into this tough conversation. First, I want to thank a viewer by the name of Joe Davis for the idea of this video. He had commented on a Thursday video a while back, and his comment really gave me the idea how important talking about this topic is. He said, whenever things go sideways, oddly a quote from the Batman Begins movie pops into my head when I'm trying to get my bearings. Alfred saying, "Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves up." First off, I love that movie. And second off, I told him that because of failure, it allows us to learn what not to do. And that failing is a part of success, living, and growing. So because of this quote, it gave me the idea to talk about failing and how important it is and why you shouldn't just give up, even though it is so hard when it comes to mental health and just life in general. But maybe, just maybe, I can explain to you why failing is the first step to success. So when it comes to mental health, failure helps strengthen mental wellness and resilience. Failure is inevitable, and it is a catalyst for change. With that being said, how does failure help strengthen mental well-being? Well, first off, it helps promote the development of coping skills. I talk all the time about how important coping skills and learning coping skills is. Not only when it comes to mental health and dealing with depression and anxiety, PTSD, but just to deal with emotions in general. It is important to fail so that we can learn to handle failure and not allow these setbacks to leave us feeling crushed or lead us to giving up. These coping skills allow us to live with these emotions and to keep going, to know better alternatives than just the first instinct, such as anger. Instead of punching your fist through the wall, you can go to distract and listen to music. You can go to sitting outside and observing the birds and the way it makes you feel and then describing it. You can talk to somebody. There's so many different coping mechanisms. I will leave a link in the description box down below of a list of different coping skills that are just, I find, very helpful. Mainly because I spent the past year going through a DBT class to learn coping skills for my borderline personality disorder. But that still don't mean they're not important. Number 2 is to prevent stagnation. Failure pushes us to rethink where we are and make positive changes, instead of getting set in our ways, feeling empty or unsatisfied. Number 3 is it increases empathy. Experiencing failure or loss allows us to better relate to others' struggles and be more connected. Number 4, failing is not the end of the world. Lessons are meant to be learned to come out the other side. It's an opportunity for new growth and a fresh start. Think about all the times you had a setback or you failed. What happened afterward? You started over, and most likely something better happened for you. And as much as we don't see that and don't think about that, that's actually the truth of what happens. We regroup our feelings, our thoughts, ourselves, our situation, and try even harder to come back, and I'll talk about this here in a minute, but to prove to others that we can do it even harder. I think the big thing about failure and the misconception about it is to ask yourselves, what is the worst thing that could happen? The worst thing if you fail. Failure is temporary and good. And like I just said, when failure happens and it all feels bad, think something good is actually about to happen. You know, there's something my dad always tells me, and it's that, what is the worst that they could say? What is the worst that could happen? They say no. That's it. And that's the truth. What is the worst that could happen if you fail? You start over. Yes, you may have hurt feelings. Yes, you may feel like the world crumbled down around you. But truly, what is the worst that could happen? All you do is start over, and something else happens. Something new that just might be better for you. Just like that saying everybody says, when one door closes, another one opens. It is just like that. And I think there's two other things you should always remember when it comes to failure and to life in general. Pay attention to your intuition and gut. Stay away from fear. Also, never give up. Just keep going. Again, all that happens is you start over. Keep going. I want to tell you a story that I've probably told multiple times throughout my channel, and that is just my life, okay? I have failed so many times, and I don't like to look at it anymore as failure. I like to look at it as just different paths my life has been taking, and that I wasn't supposed to go down that road. I'm supposed to go down this road, if that makes sense. Okay, yes, I had this idea of what I wanted my life to look like. Let me tell you about it. I wanted to, out of high school, go to become an RN. I wanted to go to school for 2 years, get my associates, and while I'm working for the next 2 years, go back to school for my BSN. And once I'm done with that, I would have enough in my work career in the exact field in nursing to become a traveling nurse. And then I even had the exact timeline of when I wanted to get married and have kids. I had it all mapped out. Well, guess what? None of that happened, if you can't guess. But what did happen? Well, I got my CNA when I was in high school. I think that's a win because I was still in the healthcare field. I went to LPN school, so I decided, well, if I can't straight out become an RN, I'll climb the ladder because I think that's more important, being a well-rounded nurse. Well, that didn't happen because halfway, and I'm actually going to make a story time video on this exact experience, but halfway through the course, I had to have surgery, and I was no longer in that class anymore. And that crushed me so hard. I failed at becoming a nurse. I am not a nurse now. Do you see me being a nurse? No. And it, to me, is my biggest failure. But what happened? Well, I got to choreograph. I got to learn how to wrestle. I did some Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I started a YouTube career. I was a blogger for a while. I'm helping people, even if it's one person, with what I've been through and the knowledge I have gained throughout the years that I've been quote unquote failing and not living the life that I wanted for myself. And that's what I'm saying. Failure begins a new beginning. Each time I failed, I was able to start something new, something different for myself. I found so many avenues that I love, and it gave me so much more insight on who I am as a person, what I love, more than I would have if my path stayed the way I wanted for myself. And that's what failure is for you to keep going and trying different avenues, even if it's to get your main goal. Trying here, trying there. It'll all get you to your main goal. Mine, it was to help people. In my YouTube channel, I am helping people. My music reactions, I'm helping people feel good and have fun and sometimes induce memories. And then on my awareness videos, I'm spreading the knowledge, like I said, and information I have. Even if that helps one person, I'm still helping people. And if that day comes that I'm able to be a nurse, I have all of these different abilities from these different avenues I took to make me even a more well-rounded nurse. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. What I'm trying to get at is that failure is not about hitting a goal or a desired outcome, but remembering you still accomplished a lot. Now, what are some things to remember about failure? Well, one, it teaches us lessons that we wouldn't have learned otherwise. For example, think of when you were a kid and your mother told you, "Don't touch that stove, it is hot." Well, if we never put our hand on that stove and felt the heat, burned ourselves, we never would have associated that, yes, that stove is hot. Technically, that is a failure. But that taught us a lesson that we wouldn't have learned if we didn't do that. Yes, that may be something very small, but it is something that works for any type of failure you put in its place. Number two, failure can be looked at as a motivation, a desire to get back up again. Like I said, to prove others wrong, that you can do it. But honestly, you don't need to prove others wrong. Prove yourself wrong, that you can do it, because you don't have anything to prove to others. But again, that is my opinion, and that's how I live my life, so. But maybe you do, so get back up again and prove all those people wrong. And most importantly, like I said, show yourself you can absolutely do that. Number three, like I do, use failures to teach others. The difference between success and failure is resilience. The ability to keep going, to fall down, get back up again, and do it all over again. That is the difference. And with that, you can teach others what you did, and maybe they can do something different. Same with kind of what I do here. I tell you guys what's happened in my life. The things that knock me down, what helps me get back up again. And sometimes you guys just maybe, you may try those. Just like the coping skills I give you guys. Maybe you may use them one day. Or, I don't know, just anything. It allows you to help others and spread information. I hope I explained that correctly. Number four, it also helps you to reevaluate goals. Just like I said earlier, if you didn't lose, you may not have realized it's not what you wanted. Like, if I didn't lose all those different times and do all these different maneuvers to get to where I was hoping I was getting to, I never would have found myself sitting here. I never would have been sitting alone in my room on disability, wondering, well, what am I doing now? Maybe I can help somebody if I didn't sit there and reevaluate my goals. Failure truly is the first step to success, because you are constantly getting back up again and starting over. I hope that helps to show you how failure truly is the first step to success. Because once you lose, once you fail, quote unquote, you have to get back up again to succeed. Getting back up again is success. That is the first step. Losing begins. But I wanted to tell you guys a few more things. One thing is that Edison, it took him 1,000 tries to develop the light bulb. Henry Ford lost financial backers 2 times before producing a workable prototype for an automobile. So I hope that just shows you that you're going to fail. And yes, it will hurt, but don't let it stop you from getting back up again and going after what it is you want, or from reevaluating your goals and finding something else you may want. Churchill said, "Success is not final, and failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." And I will leave you with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it didn't come off too preachy, or I just wanted it to be more motivational. But I think my passion overrides my my everything sometimes. But I hope it helped in some way, shape, or form. Let me know if there's any failures that you guys had that ended up taking you guys to the right avenue, to the right ending, and what video you may want to hear me talk about next. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.